I just think it's a good thing. And I wish more people would give themselves permission to be vulnerable, to be anxious, to be sad, to be happy, whatever it is. I think it's just good for our health in general. Well, I've always been sensitive, and I remember the first like interpersonal growth workshop I ever did. It was 3 days, and at some point in that workshop, everybody kind of broke and told their stories,
Yeah.
and there were stories of loss or grief or pain or whatever it was. And man, I held on and I held on, and there was like 45 minutes left in the workshop, and I finally broke. And the workshop leader says, "Man, I've been watching you. It's amazing how much pain you can hold on to." And I was like, wow. But then since that point, that must have been 30 plus years ago. And since that point, it's like I just gave myself permission to be me and be sensitive, be emotional, be caring, be vulnerable, whatever it is. I've been so much happier.
How did that feel, like that initial where you finally opened the doors?
It was such a relief. It was about, I went through a pretty traumatic childhood, and it was about my parents' divorce and all the craziness around that.
Yeah.
And, in my high school, I was football team captain. I was Mr. Friendswood High School. I was most courteous, everything was supposed to look right. And so I held that until that workshop. And I can still remember, just finally the dam broke, and I just cried and I cried and I cried for probably 20, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
And I remember that workshop leader saying, "God, the way you can contain that," he said, "I've never seen anything like it." But since then, it's like, I was talking to, I was helping a retired college athlete yesterday, and we were just talking about happy tears, and how important it is to follow your happy tears. And she starts crying, and then I started having a happy tear, seeing her connect with the happy tear, and she's like, "You're crying too?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "That's pretty cool." And then she sent me a text message this morning, and she goes, "I had a happy tear on the way to my workout this morning."
Oh, that's awesome.
Clapping hands, so I just think it's a good thing. And I wish more people would give themselves permission to be vulnerable, to be anxious, to be sad, to be happy, whatever it is. I think it's just good for our health in general.